Hi, I'm Ashlee Barnes. I teach 4th grade at Hobgood Elementary.
And I'm Meredith Gilliland, and I teach 5th grade at Discovery School. And today we are going to learn about the science behind Rube Goldberg machines. And then we're going to give you some tips about how you could create your own Rube Goldberg machine at home using things that you have around the house.
A Rube Goldberg machine is a machine that's specifically designed to perform a simple task. And today we're also going to look at what potential energy is, which is the stored energy in an object. We're going to look at kinetic energy, which is energy in motion. And then we're also going to look at the transfer of energy as it goes from one object to another.
Let's go ahead and look at that slide. So there are the definitions of potential energy, kinetic energy, and the transfer of energy. So we're going to start today by learning a little bit more about Rube Goldberg in a book called Just Like Rube Goldberg, The Incredible True Story of the Man Behind the Machines. And I bet your library at school has this book in it. You could check it out there when you get back to school. I also purchased this book from Amazon. It's a great one, and I'm only going to read a few pages out of it. So this is Just Like Rube Goldberg, The Incredible True Story of the Man Behind the Machines, written by Sarah Aronson, illustrated by Robert Newbecker. Question: how do you become a successful, award-winning artist and famous inventor without ever inventing anything at all? This is not a trick question. A man named Rube Goldberg did it. In a funny way, his life was just like one of his famous inventions, an improbable and inefficient chain reaction that ends up making perfect sense. I'm going to skip a few pages that talk about his life and childhood, and we're going to go straight to the Rube Goldberg machine. Although this was the age when new machines were being invented to make life easier, Rube's screwball contraptions purposefully solved problems in the most surreal and ridiculous ways. Things like, how do you put holes in donuts? Well, I'm looking at this picture and I'm thinking the goat eats the carrot, which then lifts the ghost and scares the bird, and all ends up with a hand pulling the string of a cannon and shooting a hole right through a donut. Now, Mrs. Barnes, I don't really think that's how they get a hole in a donut.
But I really appreciate the creativity.
Or even, how do you cut your own hair? Oh my goodness.
This is exactly how I cut my hair.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't recommend children doing this at home.
I wouldn't either.
A goat hanging over your head to trim your hair? And I'm kind of worried about this boxing glove over the granny in the rocking chair. This all seems a little dangerous and kind of ridiculous. Just like the machines he studied in engineering school, these complicated contraptions required lots and lots of parts. And they always worked, on paper, of course. They weren't practical in the real world, but that was never the point. Rube Goldberg didn't draw machines that solved real-world problems. He drew comics to make us look closer, and question logic, and tickle the imagination. And because of that, these machines accomplish something astounding and more important than any pile of nuts and bolts ever could. Look at all the things he has in this bathtub. Oh my goodness. I see how some of them could solve a problem, but I also see how some could create a problem.
Yes.
I mean, a snake with a candle on his head? They challenged people to use the most amazing machine in the universe. Do you know what that is?
I don't. Tell me.
The brain. Now, this is a pretty accurate representation of what's happening in my brain right now.
Absolutely.
A brick thrown through a beehive, a mouse on a pulley, a cat in a hamster wheel. Yep, that's it. So let's take it from the top. Rube Goldberg became a stubborn, smart, serious about being funny engineer, office boy, cartoonist, commentator, comic genius, and award-winning artist and inventor whose name is now an adjective in the actual dictionary without inventing a thing. Is this kind of thing still possible? You bet it is. Figure out what you want, work as hard as you can, and most of all, have a great time getting there. I think that's really good advice for life.
I do too.
Just like Rube Goldberg.
Well, now we want to encourage you to be creative and look around your house to find things that you could use in your Goldberg machine. So let's look at some of our materials. You want to start with a goal in mind. So that might mean a ball goes into a bucket, or you pop a balloon, or like some of the goals in the book where you put a hole in a donut if you really want a challenge. But you're going to need objects that roll, objects that can transfer energy, different types of tracks, and then objects that can bind your materials together. So now I want to show you some of those. Some materials that you could find at home, you want to look for objects that roll, and that could be a soup can of different sizes. You could look for toy cars in your toy bins. What else could we do?
We found some different types of balls, so bouncy balls, ping pong, golf balls, even different size marbles.
All right, and then we want to look at objects that will transfer energy. So that might be dominoes. We also have different blocks that we could use if you don't have dominoes. Let's see, that goes over there. What else do we have?
Looks like we've got some simple machines in here. So like a pulley.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking even a ramp could be used to transfer energy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ms. Barnes, when we say that it's going to transfer energy, what does that mean? What does that look like?
Okay, so let's start with some dominoes and line them up. And as I'm lining up these dominoes, they are currently showing potential energy. They're not moving, but they have the potential to move. So when I apply force to one domino, it will knock over all the dominoes, so that shows the transfer of energy, which also shows kinetic energy because it's objects in motion. Like that.
So if we had maybe a ball or a car on one end and it pushed the dominoes over, the dominoes would then move something else in our Rube Goldberg machine.
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. And then we have tracks. So we looked around the house, we found train tracks of different, one with some ramps on there, one with a little bit of an edge. This one was for cars. And then, oh, I love what you did with that.
So we recycled with some toilet paper rolls, and you could use this as kind of like a tunnel, or you could cut it in half, and this becomes a track as well.
Yes. And then lastly, we have objects that bind. So we looked around and found lots of different types of tape. And then we looked at pipe cleaners that could twist things together.
I think string could also work.
Oh,
you
yes.
could bind things with string, but also Play-Doh
Yes.
might be a good option as something to kind of stick things together. Just be careful where you use it. You wouldn't want to put that on carpet or anything.
Right.
So Miss Barnes and I got together and we created a Rube Goldberg machine that we want to take some time and test it out and see if we can figure out how the energy is transferred in our Rube Goldberg machine, and just show you an example of some of the things that you might be able to find at home so that you can create your own.
Okay, you want to explain our box here?
Yeah. So we've used just a box. Now you could attach tracks and things, maybe to a wall or a table, even maybe down the stairs. But we just used an Amazon box and kind of tried to keep it small to demonstrate with you today. But we've attached some tracks, and we know that we need to have a goal. That was the first thing on our list. So what should our goal be, Miss Barnes?
Well, we have a bucket, so I really like the ball into the bucket idea. We can start with that.
Okay. Well, let's start with this tennis ball.
Okay.
So if I were to put the tennis ball at the top of the track,
Okay.
what type of energy does that have?
Well, the ball is not in motion, so that's going to be potential energy. It has the potential to move, but it needs a force to start it.
Okay, so the energy is stored, and then when I let go, what type of energy is that?
That's going to be kinetic energy because the object is in motion.
Okay, well, let's see what happens.
Okay. Oh, it's
stuck.
too large for our track.
Well, this is a really good step of the engineering design process. We've learned a lot as teachers, and also the kids in Murfreesboro City Schools. We've really been working hard on STEAM,
Yes.
on science, technology, engineering, art, and math. A Rube Goldberg machine is the perfect way to practice those STEAM skills by using that engineering design process to ask questions, solve problems, imagine possibilities, to test things out, create, design, redesign.
Redesign.
So I think that we've figured out that we want the object to roll down the ramps,
Right.
but I think we need a redesign.
Yeah, me too.
So let's get a different ball.
Okay. Okay.
Let's try the ping pong ball.
Sure.
All right. What type of energy?
Potential energy, it's not moving yet.
And then when I drop it?
Kinetic energy,
Okay, so let's try it.
it bounced out.
Let's try it again.
Okay. We have success. Good
Yay!
job.
Well, let's improve it.
Okay.
Because that was kind of,
It's pretty simple.
yeah. I mean, the Rube Goldberg machines in the book had lots of different steps.
Okay.
So let's add to this.
I'm thinking maybe a track here.
Okay.
Do you have an object that will bind it?
Yes, let's use some masking tape
Okay.
to bind. Masking tape is a really good option for tape because it doesn't leave like a sticky mark on things. Sometimes duct tape, although it's a good strong hold, you wouldn't want to put duct tape maybe on the floor at your house or on your mom's dining room table.
Oh my goodness.
She might not like that.
She will not like that. I would not like that.
The same thing with, if we were using Play-Doh to bind, we wouldn't want to put Play-Doh on the carpet. That would be a bad idea.
Right.
Okay, how does that look?
I love it. Let's try it out.
All right, so I'm going to drop the ping pong ball and see if it rolls on our extended track.
Perfect. It just bounced out again.
But it works.
It works, yeah.
Okay, let's make it more complicated.
Okay.
Let's use some objects that transfer energy.
Okay.
What do you think? Should we use,
Try some blocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
can we stack them? Yeah.
Like this. Should we stagger them? Well, okay. Right now I see this as a barrier for our ball. So should we add another ball here?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's scoot this back.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
Here's some ball ideas for us to use.
Okay. So we're staggering our objects or blocks that are going to transfer the energy.
Okay. Maybe this bouncy ball right here.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, let's try it. The ping pong ball didn't even knock over the block.
I know that for an object to move or to transfer energy, it has to have enough stored energy in order to knock over the object. So I'm wondering if this is too light to build up that energy.
What if we used another object that rolls?
Okay.
Then the ping pong ball goes down the ramp, hits the car, the car rolls, and it has a little bit more mass. So then maybe the car could hit the blocks,
Right.
which then would hit the bouncy ball, which then would put it in the bucket.
Perfect. Let's
Okay.
try it.
Oh, it didn't move the car at all.
Okay. Maybe we need a different ball.
You want to try the golf ball?
Let's try the golf ball.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Potential energy,
Yep.
kinetic energy, transfer of energy.
Oh. Let's see. I love this idea. So let's work here because I feel like this can work.
What I like that I saw is that the golf ball actually moved the car.
Yes.
So let's stick with the golf ball.
Okay.
Okay. What should we change then?
Well, the problem was when the car hit the blocks and they did not fall nicely or correctly. So maybe we try a different object that can transfer energy. What else do we have in there?
How about dominoes?
Okay, I like dominoes.
Okay. So I'm going to stack these. Oh, Miss Barnes, I'm having some trouble stacking the dominoes.
Uh-oh.
The ball isn't staying in place.
It's not. We need to improve this design. What could we do?
Even if the car hits the dominoes and the dominoes fall over, it's not going to do any good if the ball won't stay there.
Okay.
What if we created some sort of barrier,
Okay.
kind of like a track, just to hold the ball in place?
Okay. I like that idea.
Do you think blocks would work?
Let's try it. Okay. There we go.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It's that engineering design process. We're testing it out.
Okay. Oh, so close. Where do you think we were wrong here?
I wonder if the bouncy ball maybe has too much friction on the table. Since it's made of rubber and we have a
Oh,
tablecloth,
Yes.
maybe we need something that rolls a little easier.
Okay.
Let's try the ping pong.
Okay. You must have patience when you are stacking dominoes.
And creating the Rube Goldberg, it may not work the right way every time, and just be prepared to tweak, test, redesign. Oh,
It kind of has a little bit of static electricity right there.
okay, are we ready?
I'm ready.
I dropped the golf ball.
That's okay. It's going to magically appear back in your hand.
Thank you to our handy assistants. Okay,
All right.
got it.
Potential energy,
Okay, potential.
kinetic energy.
Yes, it worked!
Good job!
Yay!
All right.
Great job.
Okay.
So what do we do now? Could we redesign it? Could we make it more challenging? Could we try a different ball?
We can try different balls. We could try a different vehicle right here to see if it made it any different.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to stack these up again.
Let's try the train car.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm still using the golf ball.
I like the golf ball. That works.
I do
good.
too. And let's see if we can get the train car to move.
Okay. No, I think we did good with our car, but I wonder why. Is it Look at the design of that car.
The wheels move really easily.
And it's lower, so I wonder if this is top heavy.
Which one has more mass?
This one.
So I wonder if an object, the golf ball had more mass than the ping pong ball.
Mm-hmm.
And as it travels down the ramp, does the mass of an object affect how far it moves?
It might.
Or the speed at which it moves?
Right.
These are all good science questions that when you create a Rube Goldberg, helps you kind of answer those and figure things out.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
We'll put our car back.
Okay.
It didn't work that time. Is there something we did differently? Should we try it again? Sometimes the tape on the track can cause it to not move as smoothly, add a little friction, so that might have been what happened there.
Right.
Oh.
So Ms. Barnes, while you set this up, I want to talk about some cool resources that you can look up online to get some ideas for Rube Goldberg machines. There is a really cool website called OK Go Sandbox, and it's a band. The band is called OK Go, and they have a music video that the whole music video is a Rube Goldberg machine that is timed to music.
Wow.
So it really gives some cool ideas of things that you could use in a Rube Goldberg, and there's some lesson plans that are included with that. So that's
nice.
a good resource.
I need to check that out. I like to follow hashtag Rube Goldberg on Instagram and look at the different ones around the world that people have created. It's amazing. All right, let's try this again. There we go. All right.
It worked.
It worked.
Great.
Yes. In my classroom, we've taped a thumbtack to a car and then had a balloon, and then we had it roll into the balloon and pop it. That was pretty cool.
Let's try it.
You want to?
We have a balloon, don't
Okay.
we?
Yeah. Let's see. We'll move these this time.
Miss Barnes, we don't have a thumbtack, but I wonder if we could hit the balloon.
Oh, we could at least hit it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea better than popping it.
That would be very loud.
Yeah, okay. So I want to extend the track. And then I'm going to add a little bit of tape. And then do you think we should put the balloon over here at the end?
Yes.
Okay. That look good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Right,
where do you think the
take
balloon
this.
should go?
All right, so our goal is to have the car hit the balloon at the end. And if you want to try this at home, you can put a thumbtack on it so it pops.
So I like that we've used the same Rube Goldberg machine, pretty much. Changed a few things, but we've changed the goal. So now it's a different machine.
Okay.
So really, your imagination is the only thing that limits you when you create a Rube Goldberg machine. Okay, are we ready?
We're ready. All right, so the ball is starting at the top with potential energy. It's going to move with kinetic energy and then transfer energy to the car, and then the car is going to hit the balloon if all things
Right.
go well.
Almost.
Didn't quite hit it.
It
Okay.
didn't.
We need a little bit more force. Maybe we should check on this piece of the track right here. It moved a little bit.
I wonder if that slowed the car down.
Okay. Do you think tape across?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so.
We've got to make sure it stays smooth. Okay.
All right. Here we go. We're having a hard time reaching our goal.
We have some different balls. Should we try a different ball to go down the track?
How about a bouncy ball?
Okay, let's try that. Oh,
That gave it a good push, though.
it did give it a good push.
Miss Barnes, I like that we're just trying different things.
I do too.
And it's kind of like playing. It
Yeah.
doesn't really feel like,
What if we put the car a little bit closer to the balloon?
okay, let's go. Well,
We need that ball to magically appear back in your hand. There we go.
okay. You know, we're using our other track. I was also thinking if it's issue with the ball staying on the track, you can also add like
A barrier.
A barrier.
Yes, for sure.
Should we add that?
We can.
Let's see if it'll maybe just help it stay on there a little bit better.
Oh, one more on the other end.
I was thinking about the brain in the Rube Goldberg book, and it's kind of cool how your brain and my brain are very different and the ideas that we have, but when we are putting this together, we're combining different ideas.
Yeah.
That's cool that we can use both of our brains.
And kids can do that at home with their brothers and sisters.
Mhm. Parents too. All right. Yay! It worked.
Awesome.
Good job.
It's the best feeling when it works.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that was really fun, Miss
That was
Lawrence.
fun.
Thanks for creating a Rube Goldberg machine with me today.
Yes.
Well, so let's take a minute to go over what you need to create your own Rube Goldberg machine at home.
Okay.
So let's look at that material slide. So materials you need to build a Rube Goldberg machine at home. You need a goal, and that could be anything. Hit the balloon, drop a ball in a bucket, hit your sister. No, don't do that.
I've seen one where they filled up a cup of coffee, which I would use cold coffee, of course, but
That would be neat to have
Yeah.
a water element in there or something. You need things that roll. We showed you lots of different options of things that roll. Really, you can find anything in your house, even a can of soup. Objects that can transfer energy. So something that you can, your object can hit and then transfer the energy to something else. And it could be from one object that rolls to another. So that, just something to show that energy is moving and kind of makes your Rube Goldberg machine more interesting.
yes.
You also need tracks, so something for your object that rolls to travel on, and things that bind. That could be tape, Play-Doh, pipe cleaner, string. Just make sure that whatever you're putting the tape or Play-Doh on is easy to clean up and remove.
So we're really encouraging you to get creative and get around your house and find different things. And then also you can record it with your camera phone and then hit the slow-mo button and see it happening really slow, and that's another thing that's fun to do.
Yeah, this is a fun thing to do since you're at home. It keeps your brain active. You're using that engineering design process to test out and to be creative. So we just really want to encourage you guys to keep working at home, keep playing, keep creating.
Yeah. Thank you
Your teachers love and miss you.
so much.
Bye-bye.